You think you can read people. You walk into a room and you already know who is nervous, who is confident, who is hiding something. You watch someone's face and you think you understand exactly what is going on inside them. You have been doing this your entire life. And you are wrong. Almost every time. Not because you are bad at it, because the way your brain reads people was never designed for accuracy. It was designed for speed. Psychologist Nicholas Epley spent over a decade studying how humans interpret the minds of others. What he found was both humbling and strange. The average person believes they are far better at reading people than they actually are. In test after test, people predicted the thoughts and feelings of others at rates barely above chance. Yet almost no one believed they were guessing. Everyone felt certain. Everyone felt like they saw. That feeling of certainty is the problem. Your brain does not observe people and then draw conclusions. It draws conclusions first, then looks for evidence to confirm them. By the time you think you are reading someone, your mind has already decided what it is going to find. You are not a detective, you are a prosecutor. This process has a name. Psychologists call it the primacy effect. The first piece of information you receive about a person, a tone of voice, a facial expression, the way they walk into a room, anchors everything that follows. Every new piece of information gets filtered through that first impression. You are not updating your view of a person as you learn more. You are defending it. Solomon Asch demonstrated this in the 1940s with a study so simple it should have been obvious. He gave two groups of people the same list of personality traits describing a fictional person. Group 1 received the list in this order. Group 2 received the exact same words in reverse. The descriptions were identical. The impressions were completely different. The first group liked the person. The second group did not. Nothing changed except which word came first. One word. That is all it took to change everything. And the effect does not just happen with strangers. It happens with the people you know best. You think familiarity gives you accuracy. Research says the opposite. The longer you know someone, the more your brain replaces the real person with the version it has built inside your own head. You stop seeing them. You see your model of them, and your model is years out of date. There is a specific name for this too. Psychologists call it the illusion of asymmetric insight. It is the feeling that you understand other people better than they understand themselves, and better than they could ever understand you. Studies by Emily Pronin at Princeton found that people consistently believed they could see through others with clarity while their own inner life remained complex, nuanced, and impossible for anyone else to fully grasp. You are an open book about everyone else. You are a mystery about yourself. Here is what that means in practice. When someone is quiet in a meeting, you decide they are disengaged. When someone does not text back quickly, you decide they are annoyed. When someone smiles too much, you decide they are hiding something. You feel confident in these readings because your brain delivers them with no hesitation, and predictions fail. The quiet person in the meeting is composing something important in their head. The slow texter is in a conversation with someone else. The nervous smiler is just someone who smiles when they are anxious, not deceptive. None of this is what your brain told you. Your brain told you a story and labeled it a fact. What makes this worse is something researchers call the Fundamental Attribution Error. It is one of the most replicated findings in all of social psychology. When other people do something, miss a deadline, snap at you, cancel plans, your brain immediately reaches for a character explanation. They are lazy. They are selfish. They are unreliable. When you do the same things, your brain reaches for a situational explanation. You were overwhelmed. You are running two completely different operating systems depending on whose behavior you are judging. Lee Ross first named this error in 1977, and in the decades since, it has survived every attempt to disprove it. It is not a quirk of certain cultures or personality types. It is a feature of the human mind. Your brain saves energy by treating other people as fixed objects with consistent inner drives, while treating yourself as a dynamic being shaped by context. It is efficient. It is also wrong. And here is the part nobody wants to hear. You cannot simply decide to stop doing this. Awareness does not dissolve the bias. Knowing about the fundamental attribution error does not make you immune to it. Knowing about the primacy effect does not stop the first impression from landing. These are not habits. They are architecture. They are the default settings of a mind that evolved to make fast social judgments in small groups where speed mattered more than nuance. The ancient version of you lived in a world where reading a stranger correctly in the first few seconds could determine whether you survived the encounter. Your brain is still running that software. You are using prehistoric social hardware to navigate a world that requires a completely different kind of precision. So what actually works? Research by Epley and others points toward one consistent answer. Curiosity, not observation, not analysis. Asking. The single most reliable way to understand what someone else is thinking or feeling is to create the conditions where they feel safe enough to tell you, not to read them, to reach them. In one study, people were asked to predict how a partner would respond to a series of personal questions. Then they were asked to actually ask those questions and listen to the answers. The gap between what people predicted and what their partners actually said was enormous. And almost universally, people reported that the real conversation felt more connecting, more surprising, and more honest than anything they had imagined on their own. The mind you built of another person is a closed room. The actual person is still outside it, knocking. You have been reading people wrong your whole life, not because you are broken, but because you were handed a tool that was built for a different world and told it was a mirror. It is not a mirror. It is a map you drew yourself, from the inside, with limited information and enormous confidence. The next time you are certain you know what someone is thinking, notice that certainty. Not to doubt yourself into paralysis, but to remember that certainty is not accuracy. That the feeling of seeing is not the same as actually seeing. You think you can read people. The most interesting thing you will ever discover is how much more there is to read.